primarily about catalogs, online catalogs, databases, and that's Amanda up there, by the way, working in the field. There we are. Just in terms of agenda, brief overview, give you some examples of photo ID catalogs, kind of a summary, and then we'll have our breakout session. And I just wanted to tell our age, I think, actually, it wasn't Wersig and Wersig, the earliest article. This is actually Sears and Disney.
Big slot.
Yeah, as I thought about online resources and started to do some searches, basically Google searches, I ran across photo ID catalogs, and they needn't be databases online. They might be something like a PDF or a picture gallery or a Facebook page, something like that. But mainly I'm going to focus on actual databases that are available online. And then of course there's software, and those have been mentioned, like Darwin or Finbase, something like that, where you can do matching in an automated fashion, but that still requires some additional work. And then there are various kinds of documentation, articles, reports, and things of that nature. There may be other items too. In terms of the photo ID catalog and the kind of model I'm talking about, usually you'll have a group of contributors. They're working through the internet, interacting through some kind of a user interface, and then adding data to an image database along with the metadata that describes those images, where they were shot, like latitude, longitude, what date, and things of that nature. And capturing those and manipulating those data within a database environment that they're accessing through the internet. And there may be other processes and procedures involved, and perhaps other people working sort of on the other side of the database or the catalog to help maintain it, or to maintain communications among the people who are the contributors to that online catalog. Kind of following along lines of what John C. was talking about, what are some things that you need to think about in the database context? What is important to include, and what's the design that you're going to use for a database if you're going to create one as a catalog? How should it be organized? What's the image format going to be? Are you going to capture your data and maintain it so that it fits various kinds of, or it could be biodiversity standards for data? Will there be a workflow of some kind, an application that you'll have around the database to help people navigate what to do when they're using it? And then what options do you have for output? Do you want stats to come out of the database to then be applied in some mark recapture analysis like Greg was just talking about? These are some other things I thought about. One of the things I would focus on would be what kind of data sharing or use agreement do you have with other contributors? How are you going to share that data and be comfortable with it? And then what about long-term data management? Who's going to maintain the database over time? Things of that nature. There may be other specific items, special items for specific circumstances for your catalog, if you were going to build one. So now I want to just jump right into some examples of some catalogs that are online. The first being the North Atlantic right whale catalog. This one is housed with the New England Aquarium, and they support it along with NOAA and a consortium of organizations. There are over 100 contributors that have data in this catalog from 1935 to the present. They also have photo ID, a photo ID page for each individual that's currently in the database. There are about 637 whales in the database. 637 individuals. And then along with those individuals and showing something about their particular characteristics so that you can identify them as individuals, there's a sighting history that accompanies that information. I'll show you this in just a moment. And some other content, if you internet content around the catalog that's interesting, like a right whale identification game. And there's some software available from New England Aquarium called Digits, which is meant to be a data management, a photo ID data management information system. But you need to work out with them what you would do. So in the upper left box, you can see here's an individual page from the North Atlantic right whale catalog, and they use illustrations to show some of the callosity patterns and other identifying characteristics of an individual. This is 1001. And then they also use accompanying photographs, and I take it they select the best of these to show in this area, and you can filter for flukes or tail stalks or peduncles or flippers or heads or whatever that are best used for identifying that individual. And then there's a little link out here for sightings, and here's the sighting history for 1001. There are about 4 pages of sighting history. I think runs from what, 70 something to I think 92 when this whale was last seen. And then so that's the catalog. So a couple of interesting parts of it, main parts I would say. Here's the right whale identification game. And by the way, we're going to look at all of this in the breakout session. But the right whale identification game kind of gives you a shot at trying to match some images and see if you can make the correct guess or the correct match. This is the Digit software. It's just a screen grab. I haven't used it. It's from online, but essentially the Digit software is used for attempting to do matches and other manipulations with the data to keep it in good order. Next, I want to talk about the Shepherd project. This is an open source marker capture data management framework, and it's been used by John C. and a big group of contributors for North Pacific humpbacks. That's the Splash catalog, but also they've been very successful in using this approach with whale sharks, polar bears, mantas, turtles. You can download this software and install it, configure it, and have it up and running to put data into it within an hour or two, following instructions to do that, and then you've got a basis for a photo ID database. You can start to customize. You can establish it locally, say on your notebook computer, or you can put it on a local area network, or you can, with some work, and you probably need somebody with some Java database savvy, perhaps who understands how to launch a website. You can put this software out on the internet and have a catalog on the internet. Great guy, Jason Holmberg. He's the technical guy. Based up in Portland with EcoOcean USA and the Shepherd Project. He's a great resource, very accessible for getting information about Shepherd Project if you wanted to look at it. Essentially, you have capture of some photo ID data in the field, input into the library, and here's just a quick screen grab for a particular whale shark. The whale shark database that Shepherd has is a global one. I think they're about their biggest project. But there's a history of sightings and photo and ID photos. Ari showed something similar to this earlier. They use pattern matching, visual pattern matching algorithms with the whale shark catalog and grid computing. So essentially, you introduce the latest photograph of this whale shark from the field and just click go, and you have several computers all over computers all over the place running through the database and trying to find the closest matches or the highest probability candidates to match this incoming photograph. So it's pretty slick technology, and actually Jason's working on some more of this so that you can add your own relatively easily. This is what the whale shark landing page, home page looks like, and if you download this software and you install it, it looks very much like this. The content is more generic, but essentially it has this look and feel, and as I said, it's very accessible. Next I want to talk about OVIS CMAP and the MAVDC. This is, OVIS CMAP is a program long-standing at Duke University, Nicholas School of the Environment. They have a big spatial ecological analysis group and infrastructure there, and they have one node of this infrastructure is the Mid-Atlantic Bottlenose Dolphin catalog, and this is a screen grab from it. 28 contributors. They've input data that ranges from 1990 to 2008, but I think they're working on a backlog of about 4,500 images now, so they may be adding new data to it soon. It's East Coast bottlenose dolphins. About 4,000 plus in there. It's got This online application has a nice graphical user interface for various kinds of analysis, an integrated mapping facility. They use a curator model, so there's somebody who sort of sits with the catalog and helps the contributors to work with their data and work on finding matches and things of that nature, some communication, and also, I mentioned earlier, workflow, some defined processes and procedures around it. A couple of the people out there at Duke, Kim Urien and A. Fujioka, really good folks, great resources with respect to the MABDC. And now I want to tell you something that's really cool. This is the California Dolphin online catalog, kind of announcing this for the first time. It's in beta right now. It's a new catalog that is based on the MABDC, the Mid-Atlantic Bottlenose Dolphin catalog technology. We have special thanks to make to Pacific Life Foundation and to Bob Haskell for providing funding for this catalog. It actually was a priority action or project that was emanating from last year's Southern California Marine Mammal Workshop, and a collaboration around Alice Wong's thesis from SDSU, a group of people, some of whom sit here, R.H. and Madalena, Dave, Greg Campbell, others. Basically, first, data and the catalog are currently under review as a beta. We think there are further opportunities for research and collaboration around this catalog and developing it further, adding more data sharing, technology and methodology development, education and interpretation opportunities, and big thanks to A. Fujioka and Kim Urien for helping us get into this catalog. And I just wanted to give the nod to the many people who have been involved with this catalog over years of time. Again, some of them are here today, and some of them are not, but I really wanted to acknowledge them, and my hat's off to all of you for getting that done, and thanks again to Pacific Life Foundation for their funding to make it happen. So, just some parting shots by way of summary. There are many resources available online. I think if you surf, you'll find it. And some things that I can think of that may be helpful if you're approaching a catalog project or a database project, working with other people, is working out some kind of data sharing agreements. Written ones are good. Everybody's on the same page, literally, and signed off on it. Assess your needs and opportunities for photo IDs. What are your objectives, like John Kalamakitis was saying earlier today. And think about data management long-term. Seek collaboration and technology opportunities. There are a lot of opportunities in this area, I think. And with that, I just want to say thanks very much, and thanks for coming to the session. We appreciate your being here. Thanks again to Pacific.